Well, my name for starters, Tama, comes from Tama Wall. That is my full name, and that's my actual first name. Yeah, is that Tama Arangi, and named after my father's eldest brother, actually. Yeah, and he just lives up the road there. But it comes from the East Coast. My name, I have links to the Waititi whānau in the East Coast. My nan is a Waititi. She's a sister to Hawani Waititi. And the thing, yeah, and that's my connection to the coast, and that's where I get my name from, the East Coast, yeah, and that's where it comes from. I'm not too sure what it means either. I know it's got some deep, meaningful name as well, but I was raised here, born here, not born here, born in Wellington, moved back here when I was 5 years old, I think, or when my father finished trade school. He's a carpenter, and he's pretty much my fishing mentor. You know, he got me out there when I was a little boy and everything. It's not just fishing, hunting as well. Real good hunters, you know, it's all about the kai. And they're really good at gathering kai all the time, for no matter what it was. This was one of them, was trout fishing all the time. But the other part of my education was hunting, yeah. Pigs, mainly, yeah. They weren't really interested in chasing deer around or anything, but they love the excitement of getting pigs and everything, good pigs too. Just with the dog, just with a knife, no gun. You weren't allowed to carry a gun until you could prove you could handle a gun, you know. And most of the times you could do it with the knife anyway, but when you come across a good pig and that. But yes, I started coming down here when I was a young 5-year-old with my father. My grandfather gave me my first rod, this old split cane thing that did, and everybody wetlined then way back then. It was Andy's style of fishing, and that's when I done my time. When I was a 5-year-old, and it takes about 10 years or so, you know, to really get onto it yourself, to tie the knots, to learn how to cast, to learn how to handle your rod, you know, to learn not to hook yourself up and everything. Because we all got to go through it, you know. It's part of that learning phase of fishing and everything. But eventually, I learned how to tie my own flies, following my father, my grandfather, and everything. Learned everything about it, and still learning to this day. You know, you never stop learning when you're a fly fisherman, because there's always new things coming out. I'm in awe of a lot of the people, a lot of people that come here, their techniques that they display. Dry fly fishing, for example, highly technical. You know, in comparison, I'm a brute chasing brutes. You know, that's how my gear is set. But watching these other, you know, these other fishermen is like watching poetry in motion. Really, that's the closest I could describe it, because it's awesome to watch, and to see them actually make a fish come up and grab this dry fly out of nowhere. You know, you go, wow, yeah, can I learn that? You know, and I did, yeah, I did learn it and everything. and that's been pretty much my fishing journey on the Waitahanui River. I exclusively fish this river, nowhere else, because it's my home river. I've never had to go anywhere else. I usually don't go from the front. I'm usually just fishing those two pools. I never even come up here all the time. I just leave these for everyone else, because there's a lot of pools, you know, between here and there. It's just only because I'm shooting content lately that I've been coming, and I've been patiently waiting for them to come in, and that should happen soon. So yeah.
For your love for fishing started from when you were 5?
Yes. When I was a young boy, watching my father and his brothers, my grandfather, his cousins and his brothers, absolutely nailing fish, you know, hoping one day, will I get that good, you know, will I be able to catch a fish like that? And one of the things that really stuck with me was my koro. All the times he goes, don't worry, boy, you'll get there one day. We all go through that. You got to go through that, you know. And, you know, sage advice, you know, they all knew what they were talking about, because they had done it themselves. And my father had done it. All his brothers had been through that phase as well. And, you know, at the time you're young, you know, you're just impatient and everything. And that's what fishing teaches you. It teaches you to step back a lot, and just watch and wait, be patient. It's like one of the biggest things you could ever use in fishing is patience. And again, it helps your mentality and everything, just being here, being present, and just watching, observing, learning from it, because you'll never know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I can catch fish, yeah, but nothing like they could catch fish back then, with the fellas that I used to look up to. And there used to be a lot of them too. Sadly, there's very few of us left. I think there's only about a dozen of us left on this river that are really good top-tier fishermen. One of them I call number one, Tommy Northcroft. Yeah. And he knows this river way better than I could even imagine. and he knows it better than the back of his hand, you know. It's the first one I seen bring in uronymphine and check nymphine and all that. He's a guide himself as well. And he told me the story too of why he started check nymphine, or he called it check nymphine back then, because it was Czechoslovakians that come over and showed him when they were chasing. They heard about the legendary big browns of the Waitahanui River, and they came to chase them. And they had that's what they had. They had the Euro rig. Tommy had never seen it before in his life, and he goes, "Oh no, I've got rigs here. I've got the indicator." They said, "Oh no, can we use ours?" Said, "Oh yeah, okay then." I don't think you'll get anything like that. But then when he seen them like nailing them, absolutely hammering them, he was like, "Wow." But he didn't show it, of course, you know. "Oh no, this is how the river always is. It's always fishy like this." But in his mind, he said he couldn't wait to get home and, you know, rig up exactly like how they had, and learn how to use it. And then I saw him at the bridge pool about, what would be close to 14 odd years ago. And we're all with our indicator rigs there running through the pool, and he comes along with this thing. Is he wet lighting? What's that he's got on? Oh, that doesn't even look like no lighting. He's got one. He's got one. He goes, he's got another one. Where's his indicator? I can't see it. Are you nymphy? What's he doing? And then he explained, "Oh no, I learned that this is check nymphine and everything." And wow, how do you do that? You know, and everything. And again, made me want to learn. Like I said, you're always learning. You're always looking to improve yourself, especially fishing. Because you can't stay in that same level of it. You've got to try and keep building yourself up all the time, and then eventually you're just on fish all the time. All the time, they just don't seem to leave you alone. It's only because you've taken the time to learn those different things, and that's one of the main things is time. All of us run out of it eventually, you know, but the river will still be here, yeah, for our kids too. And so if you can pass that on to them, they're going to see it, you know, and they're going to pass it on too. And that's one of my favourite things to see, fathers and sons. It reminds me of how I learned and everything, and I'll gladly jump out of a pool for them if they come up and I see them trying to teach the son. I go, "Here, have a turn, jump out," and I'm all right. I can get fish anywhere I like, yeah, but I know there's fish there. Throw it in there, and to see the joy on that son's face when his father hooks up on a fish, you know, I can see that look that I used to look at my father with, you know, admiration, awe, respect, you know. Will I get like that one day, you know? And that's where it starts here for all of us. And again, just a great place to be for your mind, for fathers and sons, for everyone, for kids, and for people in general. You know, it is about your mental health and everything. This takes it all, yeah. They say fly fishing is likened to yoga. It sends out the same brain patterns as yoga does. I can genuinely attest to that. Yeah, it is. It's relaxing. It's peaceful. It's tranquil. It's quiet and everything. You get to sort your thoughts out, you know, because you are by yourself all the time, and it's like you're just dumping it into the river, and it's just taking it away from you, all those bad things, and it's filling you up with all the good things in life and everything. Like you can feel it, you know, and that's how you get connected to it and everything. And we all need that connection, not the connection that the modern world offers. It's natural. This is where we belong, you know. We don't belong looking and staring at a screen all day, every day. It's here, out here in nature and everything. I was misdiagnosed 3 times with my cancer, yeah. And if they had caught it at the right start, I wouldn't have any of this or anything. And I actually asked for the screening test, for the cancer bowel screening test. I just didn't feel right, you know.
Yeah.
And they told me I was too young, you know. I'm 50 now. That was when I was 49. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was due for one of those tests, and I asked them for it. The doctor asked me, "Oh no, you don't need that. No, that's not. You have hemorrhoids." That's what he told me. Yeah, and I believed him. You know, he's a doctor. You know, and
yeah,
everything.
Of course you would, right?
And it was on my 4th visit. I was getting really irritable. My back was out and everything. What I found out later, the cancer was actually invading my lymphatic system into the nerves of my back. That's where I was getting the back pain from and everything. Wow. And my wife came with me, the 4th visit. And they diagnosed, "Oh no, here's some creams, here's some tools, where you go again." And my wife goes, "No, I want a second opinion." And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here now talking to you.
Wow.
Yeah. because she got the second opinion, this old doctor come in.
Yeah.
And he just come put the gloves on, roll over, started doing this thing, just come out. "That's not right. That's not right. You're going to a specialist." And from there, that's when the ball got rolling. And then I found out I had to go through scans and everything. And then Oh, yep.
Wow.
You've got stage 3B colorectal cancer and everything. Yeah, you're one letter away from 4 terminal. Yeah, and I didn't blame him because at the end of the day, I understood the health system under such pressure at the moment, and I saw it myself going through that system all year last year. I could see the amount of work they're doing, the amount of pressure they're under. They're very tired, but they were still very professional about it, especially my chemo nurses. They looked after me big time, they warned me what was going to happen. Typical Māori boy stubborn, but I'll be all right. No, so next minute, I'm severely dehydrated. I couldn't drink water. 4 days I couldn't drink water, and when I went into ED, they said I was on death's door again. Yeah, wow. Because of that, because I was just too stubborn to ask for help, Even my wife was going, "Are you all right?" No, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. You sure you need to go to the hospital? They actually give you cards for things like that happen to you, so you get straight into ED. And they said that's all you needed to do was take your card and show them your card. They would have admitted you straight away, and they did. They admitted. They growled me, man. The nurses especially, they blew the shit out of me. Next time you feel like you come in there, you come straight away. If you can't drink water on the first day, you come to. Okay, yeah, yes. Listen, lad. And I did. I was anything that went wrong, straight. I was into ED, and I lost count of the amount of times I did go to the emergency department because of it. Yeah, wow. It was just me struggling with the chemo. That's all I was doing. It was just keep trying to keep on top of it. You can't eat. Food just loses all taste. Everything just tastes bland, even the smell of it. It used to put you off, it made you nauseous, actually, yeah. And, Māori boys love their food, we all, and to actually, the only thing that I could really taste was a cracker, Wow. It's the only thing I could stomach too. And sometimes it was just a cracker and a grape. That's all I'll eat all day. For one whole day, and you didn't feel like eating. It just really messed up your whole digestive system and everything. And then you just started dropping weight. You couldn't help it because you're not eating anything. You're not drinking it. I went from 90-something kgs right down to 62. Yeah, and that was just within a few weeks or something. And I went down further. I think I was close to 55. Yeah, I was the super light, super weak and everything. And again, this is where I came. I used to come to the cliff pool here and sit above the cliff just watching everything, listening to the river, listening to the birds and everything. And these were on my good days. Most days I was just bedridden. I couldn't even get out of bed or nothing, Wow. And to have a good day, this is where I would come. If I wasn't here, I'll be at the bridge. Down on that seat watching the boys fishing, and that used to and I hear try my fly, I'll get them a fly, I can't quite think of it.
Yeah.
And they'll crack up, Al, what's wrong with you? Al, I've got cancer. Oh, have you? Oh, you poor bastard. Yeah, I know, yeah. Your own cousins there, they're all heart. So it was a bit of a journey, that was a solid year. I didn't end until this year. The end of January this year was my last chemo. So I had to go through chemotherapy first, the hardest form they could give me. After that was radiotherapy in Hamilton. After that was surgery in Rotorua. Then after that was another round of chemo, and that's when I just finished this year. At the end of January was my last round of chemo, and now I'm on a 5-year testing regime. Yeah.
Wow.
Get my bloods done once every 3 months, and CT scans, colonoscopies, and MRIs. Yeah, and I'm pretty familiar with all those procedures. And some of those procedures I went through are some of the most embarrassing things you could ever go through, All shame and that went out the window. I didn't care anymore, do what you have to do and everything. And because I had a cancer in a rare place, it was in a 1% place. You don't want this colorectal cancer. And it was quite rare, so I got studied. Do what you have to do, yep. If they need to learn from it, yep, learn, cool as, come on in. Do whatever you want to do with me. And I was always open to whatever they wanted to do with me and everything too. And it happened again in surgery. I lost all my blood, died on the table, they said, for 10 minutes. And when I come out, I knew something was up because I had teams of doctors around me with their own specialists. And I had a heart specialist, lung specialist, kidney specialist, liver specialist, all the major organs I had a specialist for because they had all shut down, everything. I even had a brain specialist and everything. and they were worried that I was going to like revert back to what I was none the wiser. You know, I'd just come out of surgery and everything, and it wasn't until the surgeon told me 2 days later, you died on that table, you lost all your blood. We had to pump you back up with as much blood as we could find in our hospital just to get you back. Oh, really? I didn't. Yeah. I was going, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. To me, it was just like I closed my eyes and wake up again, and it was. But yeah, that was just another one of the many things that I had been through in my journey on all of that.
Wow, bro, what a story.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is what in my mind, this is what I dreamed of. I dreamt of standing by the river again, teaching fellas how to fish, letting them catch fish, showing them the ways and everything, and like respecting the river and everything. So I believe it's the debt I owe to here and everything. It's just to educate people. You know, let's come out. You're all right, come out, but look after the place. You know, respect the place. You'll find if you respect the river, it respects you back. It reciprocates, but it gives you fish.
How did Hooked on Waitahanui start?
Oh, well, yeah, after my journey last year, I wanted to do something that I wanted to do for myself that I've always enjoyed and everything. And I saw a lot of content creators like just playing with the fish, really, and not really showing the whole story of why you fish, you know, how you fish, how come you do this and all of that. And our main kaupapa here is always for kai. It's always to supply for everyone that eats fish and everything. And people love them. They absolutely adore fat trout. And if you do, I've got nothing against catch and releases or anything. But if you want to help the fishery, take some out. They need to be taken out. They need to be managed and everything. That was one of the main reasons. What was just to educate like the state of our fishery. Because if it isn't managed, and this is echoed by Doc as well, if it isn't managed, they're going to overrun themselves. Our fishery is going to drop and everything. It won't be a world-class fishery anymore. It'll just be plagued with all these skinny fish and everything. But if they are managed and everything, we can all keep enjoying the fruits of these big fish, that the fight that they give and everything. And the other reason was, I didn't want to go back to work. You know, after going through all of what I had been through, I understood life is precious. Life is short. You know, life shouldn't be wasted just working for somebody else to try and gain monetary value or anything. Life should be lived. And this is another reason I came down every morning. And this is a part of my recovery as well. I've got to exercise every morning, so I do my morning walk every morning. I just thought I'd take my rod along for a walk. I've push record and just show everyone just how our locals always fish. The fishing I've enjoyed since I was a young boy, since my family's enjoyed for the last 130 years or something. And I'm a product of all of that. You know, my cousins are the same. They're all products of it. All good fishermen, all know how to catch fish, you know, all because we're all on the same kaupapa all the time. It's pono, it's right. It's just like your kaupapa. I understand that too, because I went through all of that as well. And we do need to talk more often about it. You know, no matter your race, colour or creed, you know, we're all human at the end of the day, and we all bleed the same. You know, we all go through the same struggles. You know, no matter who you are or anything, no matter if you're rich or poor, we all struggle at some point in our lives. We all fight the black dog. We all fight depression. You may not know it. Your bro might have been just asking for help, and you just ignored him because you didn't speak up and go, "Oh, I've got your back, bro." You know, just come and talk. That's one of our greatest weaknesses. I think we like to, you know, just shut up. I was bad for it. You know, you're a typical tough male. You know, I'm a bushman. I used to be an ex-bushman. You know, there's no harder industry out there. You know, you're expected to stay up to this level of staunchness, of toughness and everything. But why? There's no point in it. Yeah, okay, you're tough. Whoop-dee, you know. But it is okay to ask for help, you know, to think, oh, I'm not feeling right, bro, and everything. And I learned that lesson the hard way. You know, I shut up about it, you know, I tried to handle it and everything. But it was way out of my hands, way out of my reach. In the end, it ended up being stage 3B colorectal cancer that I needed help with straight away. And those lessons were hard to take. They're real hard to take for any male, or any Māori, any man, you know, any person. It's hard to open up to. But we have to normalise that, I think. We have to normalise being able to talk to people, having people to go to. You know, your own brothers, your own sisters, your family, friends, or just your friends, anyone, as long as you're speaking to somebody, a problem shared is a problem halved. You know, it's true. It's absolutely true. The more you talk about something, the more you can work things out. And I'm a great problem solver. Because of that, I can communicate. You know, I can talk about any given subject at any time. This happens to be one of my favourite subjects, you know, fishing. Something I've enjoyed my whole life, you know. And I thought I'd share. I thought I'd start recording, and that's one of the other reasons I started Hooked on Waitahanui as well. Just to share, just to open everyone's perspective on, like, why we do this, how we do this, you know. You're more than welcome to come and try too, you know. If you're lucky enough to run into me, I'll help you. You know, I have no problems with that because, yeah, it's for us to all enjoy. Yeah.
Beautiful, bro. I love the kaupapa. I love the whakaaro behind that and why you do that, brother. And I love how happy you are to awhi support someone if they do cross paths with you. Yeah, and I love how you say, yeah, this is for everyone to share and enjoy. The entire reason why I do what I do is to continue to help or contribute to normalizing people talking about stuff that does weigh them down. So that we don't isolate, go and hide, and then it manifests into...
That's I find that if you do that, it just builds up inside of you. And you've got no release for you. Eventually it's going to overrun you. It's going to take over and then everything that's dark about it, that gets into your mind, it infects you. And it's best to just let it go. Give it to the river. Give it to someone else. Again, you're just give it to everyone else to help you through whatever you are ailing. And of course, it is life. It's never easy, you know. But it is for living. You know, and it's for being happy, for being. It's not for being in the negative things or anything. It's not about chasing money or anything or getting the flashiest thing or everything. It is about living, being out here and enjoying it and hoping to share it with everyone else because we're all part of the same race at the end of the day, and we all need that support every now and then in our lives.
Some of the parts that I ask people when I have these chats with them is, how are you really? How are you really, bro?
Well, really, I am a bit apprehensive about my tests coming up and everything, and I know that's just the normal part of you know, people's mentality is to worry about things. It's something I do try and let go all the time, and I try and reset every day. You know, just let everything go from the day before and carry on into a new day, and I try and carry that with me all the time. Just starting over every day, because I know I'm still lucky to be here, and everything. I'm lucky to actually be talking to you, and sharing what I do know with everyone. And I know my time is short. Everyone's time is short when you look at the great scheme of things and everything. Like 1,000 years to the earth is not even a second, you know. But to us, it's a millennium, you know. It's a millennia. 1,000 years is a long time to us, but in the scheme of things, it's just a drop in the ocean compared to. And we are only here for that briefest time, so make the most of it. You know, it's not for going out and making yourself higher than anybody else when we are all equal. Yeah, I understand that fully too, and we do need to just get along and move forward. Definitely, yeah.
Has fishing ever helped you through a difficult time in your life?
Yes. Many times, actually. Many times. It's it's always been here for me. I used to just stumble out my door and just walk to the river with my rod, and just doing that alone. You know, you're by the river by yourself. You get to collect everything, all your thoughts and everything. Whatever's, you leave that all behind, and you're just at the river. You're fishing. Everything just seems to lift off your shoulders, and this is what I think everybody needs, is just to have that pressure alleviated every now and then, and to have something to come to all the time to help you with that, and to help anyone for that matter, because, well, yeah, we are only human, and we do get weighed down by a lot of stuff that we couldn't even perceive a lot of the times, but it's there all the time, and it weighs heavy on your mind all the time. It's one thing fishing has always helped me do, is to let things go. Yeah, start over, reset, and fish. You know, try and hunt a fish or something, and then usually when you hit a fish or something, that excitement is on. All the worries are out the window. You're fighting a fish, and so you finally get it to the bank. You finally won one, yes, and that's that's how fishing has always helped me, and I think it helps a lot of people in that way too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, bro. I love that. I talk about in my mahi, we have to constantly be letting things go.
Yep.
Because if we accumulate baggage, well, then it just becomes more we have to carry.
Yes,
and we can't.
Totally.
Then we can't no longer run. Then we're walking, and then we're dawdling, and then we're just barely crawling with all this baggage. I love that, bro. Yeah, letting go is so important for our health. What advice would you give to someone going through a difficult time?
Talk. What's our saying? He hao te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata. It's another person, it's people, it's people. You are not going to solve it by yourself. If it becomes too heavy for yourself, you're going to lose all avenues. But again, if you share it with somebody else, you talk to somebody else, and so they come in with different perspectives. You start finding this thing starts fading away into all of those things, and it's how it should be. It should be shared. It's not your problem alone. You may think it's the weight of the world on your shoulders, but it's not. You don't have that responsibility. You can let that all go. You can help someone. You can share it. You can talk to other people. People are always around, and it is. It's true. That saying is, there's people everywhere. And it just takes a little bit of courage to talk. That's all, and you got to find that courage inside to talk. Yeah.
Sometimes, especially men, find it difficult to talk, right? There's that macho masculinity.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And that's no fault of our own either, because we're all brought up in hard worlds. My father, again, some of the toughest men I've ever known in my life. My grandfather and my great-grandfather, they all have stories about it, and I know that I wanted to be like them. I want to be as tough as them. But then you go, why? Who am I trying to prove something to? It's not the world, you're just trying to prove it to yourself. And if you can let that mentality go, then you find you can talk to other people. You can. There is no stigma about talking to someone about your problems or anything, because that's how we're trying to do. We're trying to make it normal, and it is. Well, it's changing times now too. In our day and age that we live in now, digital communication. The whole world is connected and everything. And if we got to learn to use that connectivity to our advantage, not the other way around, that's a part of it too. Just being able to have that courage to talk.
Yeah. And that's so important. And that's why hopefully as men like yourself, other people that I have kōrero with, my kōrero, is to show that talking is possible. It's not something to be ashamed of, to feel like you're weak, although those are the things that we feel, though, right?
Yes, no, definitely.
Blocks us from that kōrero. I think it's good to hear what you say about, so that people can question why they don't talk, because actually, you can talk.
Yes. There's no stigma against it or anything. And, well, you and I have had a fantastic conversation all morning, about everything too,
Yeah.
And that was the other thing when just before I got diagnosed, I was about to buy a house. I had the deposit, I had the money. Actually, I was going to put the whole and buy the house. My wife, and I was going to take myself off insurance as well. My wife goes, "Oh, hang on, don't do that. We might find out something later, and we won't buy this house. We'll save it. We'll wait for another 6 months. 6 months down the line, I got diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, and that was kind of like, wow. If I'd put all my money into that, I would be like in shit street right now and everything. But because my wife had told me to wait a little bit, be patient about this and everything. You never know. Don't take your insurance away. Lucky I didn't, because I ended up getting trauma insurance, and that's what I'm living off now, and everything, and doing this, and you never know what's coming in the future. But you can prepare. You can just by making wise decisions, making good calls, smart calls, and everything. Talking, communication is everything. You don't know what your partner or anything is going on about, and you yourself, you end up lost. And then those worries start coming back and everything. That's where a lot of them all come from. It's just They're really, when you think about all those worries, and they're inconsequential. They're nothing. They are really nothing if you learn to understand what is the basic principles in life is to live. You know, you go right back to your basic core and everything, you'll find all those things are nothing. They are absolutely nothing when you just need the basics: food, water, shelter, warmth, you know, all those basics. If you take it right back to there and just forget about everything else, I could easily live in the bush myself, you know, because I love it that much, you know.
Just anything, bro, that you want to put out there on the video, out to the world.
Oh yeah, okay. You're not alone. Yeah, you're never alone. No matter how you think of it. As another kōrero I had with you is about what I see and everything. Yeah, I know for a fact it's our tupuna and all of that that follow us around. We are the product of them. You know, so you may feel alone, you may think you're alone, but you are never alone. And in physicality, you aren't alone. You have friends. You do have people to reach out to. You can go and talk, and never be afraid of that. Don't be afraid. You're not alone. Yeah.
Love that, bro. Beautiful. Bro.
Easy, brother. Oh,
Thank
good,
you,
brother.
bro. Thank you so much.
I hope it just inspires people to talk, you know.
Yeah.